Hey everyone, it's me, Phone 11, and I am here with my next broadcast partners for the pregame show with Roy Cruz, and the third commentator, of course you know, is Fan. And this time, we've got a big matchup for the doubleheaders. Between the zones, between the Eastern and Western Conference, it's the second night of Game 2 for the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs.
Now the next one we are on is our biggest matchup of the night. I know you may be thinking about this, but thinking this to that is going to be a one epical turn of the world. That time, it's another big matchup. The Lightning are facing against the Buffalo Sabres again in game number 2.
Last time they played it, the Tampa Bay Lightning has scored it all with 2-1 for the Buffalo Sabres. As for the Lightning, they have got their leads up 1-0 over Buffalo. The question is, can they tie this series? Or will this be a sudden with the 2-0 series of the lead for the Tampa Bay over the Buffalo Sabres? Tonight's starting goaltender is Andrei Vasilevsky, as we've got a biggest month of the matchup. And the other hand for Buffalo is Alex Lyon on the other hand. Right now, I'll be sending it over to my next broadcast partners with Boomer along with Chris the Beast, and the third commentary of the crew. Give a warm welcome over is Ballpoint Pen, and the center ice of Bugis. Warm welcome of the jury is Ray Ferraro.
We'll be seeing you all folks later here for the intermission and the post-game shows right during from the break and after the game.
Now let's get started. Game 2 starts now. Bolts, Sabres, next on EA Sports.
Enjoy the game, everyone.
Buffalo Sabres town. This is Game 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Athletic clash continues as Tampa Bay Lightning has won and Buffalo Sabres looking to tie this series. Hello people, I am Boomer and I'm here with my broadcast partner with Chris the Beast, and the third commentary is Ballpoint Pen and Ray Ferraro standing by in the center ice as we are underway in Buffalo. Game 2 ready to be set in action here as the starting goaltender is Alex Lyon, and the other side for the Tampa is Andrei Vasilevsky. Here's Alex Tuck. He'll start things off here for Buffalo. He'll swing it over to Krebs. Krebs with a little nifty move. He'll start that often. Driving in the offensive zone is Krebs. Krebs finds it over to Rasmus Dahlin. He'll give the pass back to Krebs. Krebs with the swing over. Krebs with the drive, and the pass kicked out by Andrei Vasilevsky. The rebound picked up by Tate Thompson. He lifts over to Rasmus Dahlin. He now finds Tuck. Tuck will swing it over now to Krebs. He'll give it over to Rasmus Dahlin to get the swing off. And the poke stick lifted in as Ginsel will send it over to Nikita Kucherov. Here's Nikita Kucherov. He'll start it off. That one chips it. Rebound by Samuelson. Rebound by Nikita Kucherov. With the chance, Samuelson takes that over, and he'll get a swing pass to Tate Thompson. Freezes it here. Now finds Alex Tuck. Alex Tuck trying to look for some answers. In zone now finds the Thompson. He'll get the swing off to Byram. Byram with the first shot of it, and glove saved by Andrei Vasilevsky. And Point will have it over. What a quick snap of the releases on the shot for Bowen by Ram. He's got that one with a great shot of it. The easiest goal is to make that one simple, and the only thing we'll be really watching it on is Bowen by Ram. He's playing it for one of his better careers afterwards. Since the last part of the Stanley Cup playoffs, he was ever making his achievement more comfortable. Leadoff scores may not be possible enough, but we're really sure to have it documented. McLeod wins the draw. He now has it to Owen Power as Buffalo will have it the other way. They will skate that down. Owen Powers will send it around the net. Rebound picked up by Victor Hedman. He'll now find Brendan Hagel. Brendan Hagel will get the zone right around the net. Owen Power with the rebound. He'll give it to Bowen by Ram. Now this time, this will pass off to Jason Zucker for Buffalo. Sabres back in offensive zone. The change off to Quinn! That one carried it too soon, and that one stops it by Andrei Vasilevsky. With the third coming to the crew, I give a warm welcome is Ballpoint Pen. coming out from Buffalo, New York, and it's his first time to see what Game 2 looks like. How do you feel after that one here, Ballpoint Pen? Thank you guys so much. It's really been appreciation to all of you, and anybody that plays it afterwards can definitely tell that this is the hardest matchup in the Atlantic Clash division. I really love seeing things how the game has really been playing before. For always, very simple in that. I'm really seeing that Buffalo Sabres are really trying to work it off. As for Tampa Bay Lightning, they're really one of the hardest teams they've had to play for. Nothing to remember it, but that was a great communication effort, and I've really been watching things on. Buffalo Sabres is one of the hardest teams that they've ever been playing for. No competition has done since after last postseason. They couldn't make it, but then therefore, even decades ago, they finally entered back in the postseason. I'm hoping to see what Buffalo has if they can change it. Here's Logan Stanley, the outside of it. Norris with the shot. What a save by Andrei Vasilevsky. A diving play back to Gonzalez. What a nice save happened to be Andrei Vasilevsky. He got a little bit of a dip afterwards, but that one was a great save of it. You gotta love that. He will stop things here with under 15 minutes in the first period. And the save by Andrei Vasilevsky, that was a great handle. Yeah, look at how it happened. Only one save does it all. And then when Josh Norris gets it over it, this one is a blocker. He really dived it really hard. That one maintained it really well, perfectly for Andrei Vasilevsky. He played it off there at the right moment. Yeah, I gotta say, Andrei Vasilevsky is making a great save of it, and he's doing it comfortably. Start off happens to be once, but I think we need a little bit of a better rebounding to have that regroup it. Here's Victor Hedman to find off to Cernak. Cernak shot save by Alex Lyon. Zach Benson with the rebound for Buffalo Sabres as they're on this sprinting advantage. Send off to Josh Doe. Josh Doe right toward the wing. We'll give the pass off to Josh Norris. Norris is right toward the corner. He looks to Samuelson finding to Rasmus Dahlin. Here's Josh Doe, but send back to Zach Benson. Benson finds it off to Dahlin. Dahlin, Samuelson shoots one. Hit off the stick. And it will send it into the crowd. It will be out of play with only 13:24 to go. Now saying goodbye, I give a warm welcome is Ray Ferraro, and one of the biggest ones that we are watching for one of the defensive effort, Yanni Gourde. Hey, thanks guys. I was really looking at Rasmus Dahlin, who's really able to have that comfortable with a no contest. So the big power of it has really been doing this for a long way down after playing with the Seattle Kraken. Now his day is really going to change it off because Seattle Kraken was not sure how that happens. But the big one contracts it in for Yanni Gourde. He has a great defensive effort. I'm looking to see how he's able to play it optimally. But this is a great match. They have it all and changing it optimally. We're really sure that this is a hard matchup to play for against the Buffalo Sabres, but therefore, one changes all to make that one comfortable on a leading string. Hoping to see that one for the victory here, guys. Thank you so much, Ray. And now that's what after the offside is whistled. They're ready for another puck draw in the neutral faceoff zone. And the win by Radius as he'll have it puck it over for Tampa Bay for Kucherov. Kucherov fires a shot, and a blocker save made again off by Alex Lyon. Here's Rasmus Dahlin. He'll now send a pass off to Tage Thompson. Thompson toward the corner, now finding a little bit of crack. He'll get back to Thompson, and he'll get a reset over to Rasmus Dahlin. And he'll have to reset it up again for Rasmus Dahlin in the neutral faceoff zone. Alex Tuck. Things having around the net. Unable to carry that one as J.J. Moser with the rebound. He finds Rasmus Dahlin. This one is off and rebounded by the Sabres. Dahlin back to Tuck. Tuck goes over to Samuelson. Here's Rasmus Dahlin, the fire shot! He scores! Rasmus Dahlin! That's magic! I think the problem happened to be with this. And now watch what Tuck makes. This is the movement and then goes back afterward, and then you Rasmus Dahlin hit up the crossbar, but then this is a broken play. Watch what happens with Rasmus Dahlin gets there. That hits up the crossbar, and he just couldn't find where the puck was going. This is a tricky motion, and now watch what you see on Rasmus Dahlin make. This is the firing range afterward. When Vasilevsky goes right after it, that blocks it up high, and then it rings up the crossbar. But then this rebound, he's here to try to get it up, and that goes right off the stick. That one was a great chance for Rasmus Dahlin. Playing perfectionary, that is a great start off for Buffalo Sabres. They've got a 1-0 lead start off over Tampa Bay. Huge crowd rolls in as Rasmus Dahlin scores his first goal in the game, and he adds another goal in the playoffs. Here's Ryan McLeod, sends it around net, tries to give over to Jack Quinn, the outside of the zone, now finds Samuelson. Rasmus Dahlin to find to McLeod. McLeod gives to Samuelson. He looks to pass to Rasmus Dahlin, now find McLeod. McLeod Back to Jason Zucker. You give it off to Darlene. He finds Samuelson. Shoots one and a save by Vasilevsky. 10:08 remaining as we're nearing the midway mark in the first period. He'll get another puck draw and ready to go. Let's roll the other way. Back to Ray Ferraro. And they're calling it for one of our best players is Rasmus Dahlin. That first goal has Sterling up to make the try. How do you feel about that? I've really been watching on that. Rasmus Dahlin, he's got the first part of the goal in the game, and he has another goal in the playoffs. This is why it was frustrating because the head coach is really confidently. The better way to see this offense is really changing it often. No better than the word for Rasmus Dahlin. He made it look perfectly. That's what Rasmus Dahlin is really able to have that one keeping it up. No power save can do. That happens to be with Buffalo Sabres, and they're really picking up the pressure. That was a great start like that. The first goal, and Rasmus Dahlin, that captain is a big job there. And now this time he's really watching it on with some elite edges, and hoping there's a tape-to-tape pass. He's really trying to work it off really hard, and the captain is really trying to get all of his concerns in. He wants to make sure that it's easy and make it compatible to have that one tipping it back in. This is the science of power passes, and that magic brings up the energy. I'm looking forward to seeing what Rasmus Dahlin has it, guys. Thank you so much, Ray Ferraro. And what a play afterward for Buffalo Sabres. They had that first goal in the game. Yeah, I always have to say that Rasmus Dahlin, he really made the energy far possible than he really has ever done. No one stands a crowd. If you got a bigger goal, you got to get it all the crowd favor. Here's Samuelson to find Jason Zucker. Jason Zucker! Right through the shot! Stopped it by Vasilevsky. And he'll get a stopping save with under 7:30 to go in the first period. The really energy had to bring Owen Power back to life. And watch what this hit. That goes right to her in his zone. That really hits off of Gage Goncalves, and that would just really bundled it up. That really bruised him to get over it. A lot of time left to be played in this period. 1-0 Buffalo lead. Tage Thompson tried to look for the winning faceoff off of Braden Point, and the 50-50 chance goes to Braden Point with the winning faceoff. Edmund broken it up by Buffalo Sabres, and now Shen will reset the group. Now back to Thompson. He'll now make a changeoff. Poked it by Gitzel. And Shen will have it. Here's Alex Tuck right toward in the center of the zone. He gives off to Krebs. Krebs, no answer with the room. As Nikita Kucherov will fling it out. And now he looks to Point. Here comes Point! A backhander! What a save made by Lyon! And this one goes right over to Tuck. Now the other side of it for the Buffalo Sabres as now they have more room. Big number change to Krebs. Krebs looks to Stanley. Stanley pass to Krebs. He looks over to Shen. Shen to Thompson. Thompson for the backhander. Way high up. That deflected off the stick and it rebounds it up by Tage Thompson. He really had to do all that energy in there. They need to do a lot of play at blanks. This blank on this offense really needs to make a lot of pass out of it to keep it going. Back to Stanley. Gives to Tuck. Tuck. Walk up the shot. Rebounded up by the Lightning. And Tuck will have it. He'll send that around the pass to Krebs. 5 minutes remaining in the first period. He looks up to Thompson and back to Logan Stanley. Stanley shoots it! Off the stick it goes for Andre Vasilevsky. Magic Gitzel will hand it over to Point. Point rolling in, saved by Lyon, and a rebound by Tampa. That one stops by Lyon. Stanley gets back to Greenway. What a save of it. He really had it all. Alex Lyon was pretty professional. He really had it all to keep it going. Alex Tuck to send to Greenway. Greenway resets to Power. Power back to Byram. Byram sits to Power. He will have it over. They'll give it back to Byram. Buffalo need to find a forecheck. Byram with the shot. And this will be a cross-checking. Brandon Hagel. Look what happened with this last play. That Brandon Hagel, he made that one looking mistakenly, and then with this shot go ahead, he just got beaten up. That's Brandon Hagel. The first penalty kill.
The Buffalo Sabres are on the power play.
Now they're ready to be set. First power play chance coming up for Buffalo Sabres. What you need to do about this is the power play advantage. You got to start changing it over there. And what we need to know about this, the power play needs to get simple. Because the Buffalo Sabres needs to have some operating movement offense. Now back to Stanley. He's going to be ready to be on for next event.
That's Stephen Bay. Number 38, Brandon Hagel. There's a penalty for cross-checking.
Go.
You have to
have it out. Just do with the rebound.
14 seconds.
That's nastiest on the hit. I really have to say that this was not the best way that everybody's been watching on. Anybody who plays it that could be like a big annoying group on the offense, that could definitely hurt. Rasmus Dahlin to find Alver again to Krebs. 3 minutes in the books for the first period. He now finds it to Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin on the heavy air push. Dahlin sets the pass. Norris in zone to Krebs. Krebs to Dahlin. Right to her in the middle. That gets still broken up by Dessous. Zucker. Back to Dessous. He looks over to Anthony Cirelli. Cirelli clears that zone right around the net. Power will give the pass off to Rasmus Dahlin, and he gives off to Ryan McLeod. Sabres back in offensive zone. Looks up to Quinn. Stops it short. 35 seconds left for the Sabres power play. Off to McLeod. McLeod. Outside Quinn. Quinn to Tuck. Tuck shoots! Blocker save up by Vasilevsky. Rebounds it again. Quinn. Off to Tuck. Tuck outside to Power. Power with the shot. Big rebound here by McLeod. He keeps it going. Power. In front. Save by Vasilevsky. Time running out for Buffalo power play. Brandon Hagel's ready to get back out there. Saved by Vasilevsky. Power. Blocked it. Out of time. The Buffalo Sabres power plays have expired as Brandon Hagel is back on ice. What a save of that one here. Vander Vasilevsky's getting out of stamina, but the use of his control really paid it off. Power. Gives back to Byram. Down to a final minute in the first period as he'll have it again to McLeod. McLeod loves it and will stop it from here with only 1-1 remaining in the first period. First intermission is coming right down to the line. We have Meat Phone 11 along with Roy Cruz and Fan. This will be our first intermission coming up with you shortly after this. We got a big one to start. Atlantic Clash Division is just right around the corner to find who has it better in Game 2 between the Sabres and the Lightning. That's coming up next in 30 seconds. Rebound by Benson. As a pass to Rasmus Dahlin, he looks over to Benson. Benson to pass over. Benson in zone. Blocker saved up again by Vasilevsky. Norris. And not given away by Victor Hedman. And that will clear its zone. Chance for a tie game. The point. Point in. Blocked it up. And now it frees it here. That ends the first period as Sabres striking first. 1-0 as a score by Rasmus Dahlin. Ricochets off the crossbar and off the goaltender's stick. First period is done. 2 more to go. Be back with you shortly. Hey everyone, it's me from 11, along with Roy Cruz and Fan. We welcome you to the first intermission of the NHL on EA Sports, part of the Stanley Cup playoffs of the second round. First part of the game wasn't pretty easy enough, but the changeup happened to be that great and appealing. See the status of the score, 1-0 is Buffalo. They are looking to tie the series up in Game 2 against the Tampa Bay Lightning before they take on the road against Tampa in Benchmark International Arena. Now here's one thing we're seeing things from the first period statistics, and I will send it over, is Fan. Well, this is a start off really making it look cleaner. The only way I'm just watching on it now is just Buffalo Sabres really are starting to get that appearances for 15/9. Then this time on attack really had increased, just 91/90 percentage, and the power play was just quite a little short. I know it's really not the best start of it, but hey, that's what happens with Tampa Bay Lightning. They're really starting to get that knockdown and the Furious. Their teams is overrated. Why is that? Well, it's just because with the Buffalo Sabres, they really couldn't have the good choice. But it looks like they're just definitely wanting to take it all and win it here. This is really what happens with Buffalo Sabres. They are really striking it out, and that's what's causing it to go over and under. I'm really sure that there's a lot of great way to see Tampa Bay is scoring it off with the second period if they can get it tied up. This series is going to definitely be commenced. Now let's have a look at the action trackers here. As you see, shots on goal was pretty not bad for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but the first goal only happens to be Rasmus Dahlin. He made that one with a great rocket blast off the crossbar, and it goes right tip back into the net of the goaltender's stick. How do you see that afterwards? Well, there's one way to find out. Alright, Roy Cruz, about the Buffalo Sabres, what's your first key to that? Hey, pretty much successful here in the beginning. I really have to say Rasmus Dahlin got a good start, but only if one change has happened is Rasmus Dahlin trying to answer it all. You know, the big plays is not always that simple. but you gotta see it to believe it. Rasmus Dahlin had a great start of the first period, but the second period, we'll have to wait and find out about any shots on the goal. You know, Gergensen's trying to get that shot, Braden Point's getting that shot, but Rasmus Dahlin, he's one tipper to the Magic on the point of the end. They got a good kick out of it. How about you, fan, about the Tampa Bay Lightning? What do you see afterwards?
The big saves only happened to be Andrei Vasilevsky. I mean, they're really starting off okay, but I think they're going to have to try to put back into a hustle if they wanted to have a little feedback. I know we're playing very hard, but hey, let's play back here on offense and do better stride. This is what we need to do to try to keep back in toward the net. Hopefully, there's no answer to the point. They will keep it just like the way it is. Hopefully, there's a great goal on a chance for Tampa Bay.
Now, what's your scoring prediction here after the second period? I'm going to say that this one may be the close call. I'm going to say it's a tie game, so probably the Lightning and the Sabres could be won. Let's see how they change it up.
Yeah, I agree. I believe 1-0 might not going to be enough, but I think this tying game needs to be reined in. Andrei Vasilevsky showing a lot of showstoppers. Let's find out what happens in the second period.
All right, thank you guys, and let's go back down to KeyBank Center as we end the first intermission to get ready for the second period.
We'll see you folks later here for the second intermission after the period.
Now, back to Boomer. All yours. Welcome back, folks. We're ready to get started for the second period at KeyBank Center. 1-0 Buffalo. And we are ready. 2 periods left to go as 1 period is complete. Let's see what the second period stakes on. All right, guys, about the first period, what is your recap on that? Buffalo Sabres striking the first period. How do you see that? This afterward is a great start off the year. I really love the hustling, but this is the great motion to have it driving on. You know, Tampa Bay Lightning are really trying to work it off hard. They've never made it to the Eastern Conference Finals here, part of the franchising scores and the gameplay. But hey, this is what we all have to say about the Tampa Bay Lightning. They made it so many times here for the Eastern Conference Finals. But I think the Buffalo Sabres are the ones that they're really watching it on to look for the win-off and the game that really happens to be won. But I'm probably sure that the Tampa Bay Lightning might have to do it all to keep that back in the game. Well, I might have to agree on that. I think the Buffalo Sabres might have to be the win in Game 2. But I think Game 3 might be the answer to the equivalent to do it for. So let's find how they do it. A big save by Vasilevsky. Knocks him over, rebound by Darren Radius. He looks over to Braden Point. Braden Point, fast on wheels. End zone, save by Lyon. Lyon will give it over to Samuelson. With another big save of it off in the second period. Rasmus Dahlin will have it. Changeover now finds to Alex Tuck. Alex Tuck will send a swing off to Samuelson. Returning on ice will be McLeod. McLeod, power shoots. Save, played by Vasilevsky. Here's Nikita Kucherov. Now finds it over to Braden Point. Braden Point on the rush. Trying to look for some answers in there. The pass it to Ginsel. Ginsel shoots, saved by Lyon. And rebound by Power. Zucker toward the corner. Trying to look for a Buffalo takedown action. By Rand. Pass over to McLeod. Nice seed zone. To by Rand. Saved by Vasilevsky. Pulls a stop. And rebounded by the Lightning. Oh, pretty big confidence on the scoreless. This chance happens with Andrei Vasilevsky. He picked it off with a great start. And this will have to be a tripping. That's going to be Owen Power as he knocks the player down. Yeah, you can't play it like that. Owen Power just made that one comfortably to try to go for the block shot, but here's one problem. He is way too close, and that really made it almost had a trip, but that was a big knockdown. You know, that doesn't really count for the other player, but that was Owen Power. That makes him hurt. Buffalo Sabres in the penalty kill as Tampa Bay will start their enforcement on the power play. Power play need to be settled in there. They're looking to tie that one up. When nobody is watching on this, you have to be sure you're aggressive. Don't make a mistake if you're going to do that.
Power for a 2-minute tripping.
Tampa Bay in the second period is for the Tampa Bay offense.
That's number 25, Power. For Buffalo Sabres, penalty in the
right to the zone.
Tampa Bay in the second period was 4 minutes and 40 seconds. For Tampa Bay power play.
Yanni Gore. In zone. Shots blocked. Rebound by Carrick. Carrick. Can't clear it out. Rebound by Anthony Cirone. Yanni now finds Corey Perry. He looks over to Hedman. Hedman. Tries a shot. Blocked by Shen. Rebounds by the Lightning. And Lyon will stop it here with only 15-14 remaining in the second period. Right now, we'll send it over to Ray Ferraro nearing the 15-minute mark. How do you see that afterwards with the great try and play by Andre and, of course, Alex Lyon? Well, I know this is where it's going to start off, but you know that Alex Lyon is really kicking it over right in, but I'm really watching it on. This playing full passes is really doing so much better, but the offensive work is not really anybody's response. That happens to be with playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know, the coach's goal, really is starting to watch John Cooper. That's one thing that they have to do for it. Otherwise, when the goaltender doesn't have the reach, that's going to definitely have to change it and turn things over. Let's see how they answer it back. Clears the zone out of here. This will be on Andre Vasilevsky. 40 seconds left for the Tampa power play. Here's Braden Point. The deep pass over to Ginzel. Here's Ginzel. Cuts in motion. Right toward the shot. Blocked up in front of it as rebound by Rasmus Dahlin to Samuelsson. Trying to clear it out. Not the defensive effort, and McLeod will clear it out. Tampa running out of time, and he finds it over to Point. Point, a sent pass over to Bortstrand. Bortstrand, in zone, outside, Point shot, he scores! Nick Paul delivering the power play. They're now tied for one. What a pass up, you give it over to Nick Paul, and that's his first goal they have ever tied it. That's pretty crazy on the range. Now check what happened with that. That goes off the stick, and then this rebound is only right into the zone. When the time runs out, Nick Paul did something a little bit easier with that. He wants to flick it, and then when Alex Lyon went down, this is where it happens. That really erased it off, and there is no chance you have a right range. And that blocks a shot, then the rebound goes off to Nick Paul. That's right in, and now they tied it. Yeah, it's pretty much the same how Alex Lyon did not really have responded it out. That really had caused it to be a blanking error, and now they've got a power play goal before the time expires. As Owen Powers is out of the penalty box, they'll have to try to get a lead up, but the late save made this on Alex Lyon. Here's by Ram. Sends off to Benson with 13:30 remaining in the second period. Benson. Put the pass back to Byram. He's over and out of Power. Power to find the Dome. Dome. Goes right to Byram. Tries to get back to Dome. Dome looks again to Power and broken by Hagel. Benson's got it back. And that misfired it. Miscommunications here for Buffalo Sabres as they're trying to get to Josh Doan. Look, you can't play it easy afterwards. You have to make sure you really have a lot of good confident strength. You have to make sure you really watch and open plays in this offense. That miscues everything. Don't let it be up like the last man standing. Big saves come in for a big lot as Andre Vasilevsky holding up the big showstopper and Alex Lyon trying to seal the deal. The rebounding win as Tampa Bay Lightning wins out the draw. And here's Darren Radish. Radish. Right toward the corner. That knocks out by Benson.
Power play goal. His first goal.
Now let's pick it up. Here's by Ram. Send a pass off to Josh Doan.
That's the line number 21.
On the breakaway chance, here's Josh Doan.
Number 22. Olivia Borstrand.
Doan.
That's Nick Paul on the power play goal.
Here's by Ram. By Ram. Picking it up, not finding time. Back to by Ram. He fires it, brings it off in a save.
56 seconds in the playoffs.
11:39 to go in the second period. They're trying to look for an answer to take the lead. 15 hits in the game between the Sabres and the Lightning. They really are trying to do all hard, but they can't. The win by Tampa Bay. Here's J.J. Moser. Moser the pass, and back to Malinstein. Malinstein can't get a hold of it. There, Radius in zone, shoots it, and a save on a slapper by Alex Lyon. Logan Stanley kicks the puck over to Shed. After tremendous battle along the boards, here's Shed. Give off to Logan Stanley with under 11 minutes. Stanley, back to Carrick. Carrick defended it. The rebound by Greenway. Greenway's in corner. Back over to Malinstein. Lost that stick. He couldn't hang on. And back to Gergensen and over now to Moser. Moser to pass off. And it's deep to pass over the zone. And it's way out of reach. And that's another miscues for Tampa Bay. Samuelsson right around the net. Gives it off to Quinn. Quinn the pass to McLeod. He looks over to Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin McLeod to Quinn. Outside zone. Given away by Yanni Gourde. Now Yanni Gourde will go over it. Try to change it off. Right toward the wall, and that knocks it out cleanly. Dahlin to send to McLeod. 9:20 remaining in the second period. He looks off to Jason Zucker. A shot left saved by Vasilevsky, and J.J. Moser with the rebounding. But really happens to be Andre Vasilevsky doing all the hard work. It never pays it off to have that great save of it. And you got so much time of it for Andre Vasilevsky. That's big save of it to have it demanded. Going to find over to Quinn with 8:40 remaining in the second period. Toward corner, Quinn. Quinn swings over to Byram. Byram looking off, now find the power. He looks at Thompson. Finds to Jason Zucker. Zucker swings to Byram. Given away by Gergensons. Now this one goes with a deep fling pass to Kucherov as he's back on ice. Jake Gitzel, he went down. Quinn will clear it out. And it'll have to be an icing for Buffalo with only 7:46 in the second. A lot of big emotions on the clash. You can tell that it's still a tie game. After Tampa Bay scores on the power play, it's still 1-1. Turdak shot blocked by Krebs, and he now gives to Quinn. Here's Jack Quinn, rushing towards speed! Way too close. That could almost be a goaltender interference. Yeah, he's way too close in the line, and that almost could be a goaltender interference. You have to watch when you're dripping it off, because nobody is right around you. You're definitely going to be slammed down. Nick Paul, backhander, given by Krebs. Under 7 minutes in the second period, Krebs is trying to look for a Russian cleanup. Off to Tate Thompson, pass kicked out by Vasilevsky. Victor Hedman with the rebound, and now Tampa will go back in offensive zone. The pass given away. Sabres back in offensive zone, and Stanley getting his over to Tuck. Across the line, back in the blue line is Tuck. Tuck. Give over to Thompson. Thompson finding Krebs. J.J. Moser with the pickoffs play. Here's straight in point. Now the odd man rush. In zone, saved by Lyon. 5:45 remaining in the second period. Beat again by Thompson. Thompson stops well. He used to pass up to Stanley. Stanley. Now find a swing off to Shen. Shen to Doan. Doan looks to Stanley. Stanley shoots, blocking on a pass save by Vasilevsky. Right in point. Rushing his way through, and a stop by Lyon. Josh Jones takes it out. He really almost had to miss that opportunity to change. I mean, wow, what do you gotta know about Alex Lyon? That makes a save of it, and that goes out. And that will be an icing that will stop and freeze the play with only 4:39 remaining. As you have a look at Tate Thompson, I'm really watching this on. His perfect pass on it really made that a huge hit. That TNT Dynamiter is really going to take that knockdown. He really had a little bit of a foreskin, but the battle in this happened to be Tate Thompson. He really had shown it off cleanly. A lot of time left in the period as we're under 5 minutes remaining in the second period. They're still tied in the mid, but there's only one chance that could be the first goal in the game to have a breakaway. Doan, he stepped up. He'll have to kick that one out of here, and the Tampa Bay will have to reset the boot. The Stu's back on ice. Ryan McDonough sends us early. And he's off to Brian Hagel. Brian Hagel swings a pass. Shot stopped by Lyon on Gage Condolence. Under 4 minutes in the second period, they are still looking to have another big break on the shot. Not a lot of time left to be played right now, as Anthony Cirelli tried to have that first lead off of the goal with just going down under 4 minutes. And Carrick wins the draw. Samuelson will swing it off to Rasmus Dahlin, and Samuelson will deliver around the net and try to get it out, but he couldn't clear it. Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin back to Samuelson. He looks over now and finding the pass to Carrick. Buffalo on the attack. Knocks him right toward the wall and is rebounded up by Dahlin. Here's Greenway. Carrick shoots. Saved by Vasilevsky. Anthony Cirelli the other way. Now pass off to McDonough. That made a big hit. And rebound by Carrick the other way. Samuelson to pass off to Mallenstein. Mallenstein, nowhere to be left. Mallenstein now gives to Samuelson. Outside the zone again in McLeod. McLeod to Zucker. Zucker, broken up. Anthony Cirelli takes it to the Stu. The Stu chance to Cirelli. He's out to Caldex. Mallenstein takes it away. And Caldex in the wing. Under 2 minutes remaining in the second period. They're still trying to look for a lead-up. And Zucker will have the rush. Tries to get to McLeod, and the chance. He scores! What a breakaway! Ryan McLeod. That was 2-1 lead. Bring the battle up for Ryan McLeod. That's the first lead-up to get that goal. There's no contest in you changing it up. And you see what happened to Jason Zucker? There's a great pass and you have it in to Ryan McLeod. You got a good breakaway and you got a good speed afterward. Cloud does this, and then only the change-up is going to happen. When the Ryan McLeod has a shooting percentage, he got a great pass, and then that shoots it in to get a good lead up. His score is really changing up as Jason Zucker has his first assist in the playoffs. He really had to give it over to Ryan McLeod, and that really covered it in. 2-1 to score. Nearing down the end of the second period, we got a second intermission underway. Really nearing the 90-second mark in the second period. 2-1, Buffalo. McLeod and Byram will clear it out. We'll reset the group up and on to Power. And Power trying to swing it off to Byram. Byram. The swing off. Nikita Kucherov fets it over to Jake Ginsel. Ginsel backdaggers it. A rebound by Ginsel. Ginsel has to start out. And with it remaining in the second period, he'll hit it to Byram. Second intermission coming up with you shortly after the end of the second period. Byram outside the zone. Byram slows things down a bit. Off to McLeod for two! Block the shot up again, and now it's Jason Zucker. They give it over again to Byram. Now back to Powell. Powell, Byram. Shot blocked. Great point with the rebound. And it's off to Ginsel. Ginsel in zone. Shoots it deep, and a save by Lyon. And that will end things up in the second period. 2-1, Buffalo leads as they're trying to answer off to tie the series. 2-1 to score. Be back with you shortly for the third period. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on EA Sports. Hey folks, welcome to the second intermission of the NHL on EA Sports. Me, Phone 11, along with Roy and Fan. It's a 2-1 lead, Buffalo Sabres. They start things off with a big clash, but this big end zone was nowhere to be carried in. You've seen how bad this one takes, but only one answers it as Buffalo strikes back up in the lead in the second period. Let's have the total statistics I'll send off to you, Fan, of how they did.
Well, they really did all their hard work, and I don't know how they did. The first part of the goal was right from Nick Paul on the power play goal advantage. This is really what they need to do for, which is only 1:52 time a minute before the end of the power play. You know, Buffalo Sabres couldn't do anything better with that because of Tampa Bay. They really are starting to get a lot of enforcement, and this is the big blocking off, and someone has tipped it back in there. That's a great range. And you got to get to McLeod. That's right into the net. You just have to keep it all when you've got. Playing it for real, it's that simple.
Let's go to the action checkers here. As we've seen things before, right at it from Jake Gitzel, he would have had a chance on that. But 1 goals each between Nick Paul and Ryan McLeod and Rasmus Dahlin. Those three guys are really starting to have a lot of patience here to do some better killing offensive mobility on the better drive. All right, Roy Cruz, about the Buffalo Sabres, they took the lead. How do you see that? Big action has only happened to be Ryan McLeod, and that first assist was Jason Zucker. How about that? That is a hard feeling that you got to do for. Big playoff of the drive is really that simple. I'm really sure that this one is going to be a hard one to keep it in here. How about you, Fan? About the Tampa Bay Lightning with the power play goal and they're trailing by 1. What do you think of that?
I mean, they're really trying to do off that hard. Nick Paul has had his first goal in the playoffs. I mean, that's pretty good on that, honestly. They have some great shots of it. I mean, he never scored anything on a power play goal like this, but that's really all they got. Change off is that simple. I mean, you get it, but anybody that plays it well, I mean, that's all you can definitely change on. Ryan McLeod is just watching on Tampa Bay getting a lot of strings back in, and hopefully by the tying game, may not be that simple, but hopefully there's a change off that will do the thing. Let's hope there is an answer to that feeling.
All right, let's see what the third period comes in, and what's your total prediction after the game? I have to be saying it before. I think the Buffalo Sabres are going to tie this up. I think 3-2 could be the great number lead. And how about you, Fan? What do you think?
Oh, no. I think that we're going to go to overtime. I believe this is going to be one change off than the other.
Okay, well, the 50-50 chance is on the line. Atlantic Clash continues as we go back to KeyBank Center to end the second intermission. Now let's get right into the third period. See you folks later after the game of the post-game or the overtime show.
Let's do this, people.
There's only one more period left. The Clash of Atlanta continues on EA Sports. 2 down, 1 to go. And there may be anything in Game 2 possible. If Buffalo Sabres ties the series, and then before Game 3, they'll be off to Tampa. All right, about the quick grind and the daggers, I really love seeing things. But let's have it over to you for your review for the second period recap. Let's see how your take is here, guys. What do you think of that? Playing it ultimately has been playing so great. I mean, I've seen so much of it, and the biggest ultimate of the breakaway chain has to be McLeod. They're really starting to do all much as they can. They're really starting to get that onto a good start. This is a great range to have that one clearing in zone. Thanks for the pass for the Buffalo Sabres. They're really starting to get a lot of neck downs in the punting to have that playable on the attempted. You know, there's no bigger stand at that point of it. As for the Sabres, they're really trying to do all as much as possible. But whenever you're doing it for this, so you really have done it all on your own. They really played it, and they really enjoyed it. Yeah, same with me. I mean, the Buffalo Sabres might have it all to finish things in. So I think this will be a tie series to go to Game 3. Rasmus Dahlin to find again at Alex Tuch. He finds Samuelson. Lost that one as Brendan Hagel takes the poke check. Tampa Bay back in offensive zone. Gitzel to Hagel. Hagel to Gitzel. Shoots. Saved up by Lyon. Hagel outside of his zone. He shoots one. That is blocked up and rebounded by Jason Zucker. Logan Thompson with the puck. Carries that deep over to Rasmus Dahlin. Rasmus Dahlin pulls a pause. Waits for a new recruit change. Now Quinn. Here's McLeod. McLeod shoots. He scores! Make it 2 in a row for Ryan McLeod. That was 10-3-1. That is what I have. Ryan McLeod is really in there, and he was really up for it. This challenge is really making that simple. Making a new line group in the change, and then sends McLeod, and then this pad wasn't stopped. That was right into the net. I could definitely believe that Andre Vasilevsky wasn't going to get off to a certain point, but this startup is really going to make that happen. That one was a big beat of it, and that just really tipped it, and then this pad was flicking it up, and that just goes right into the net. You would not believe so that Buffalo had scored it again. With the win by Tampa Bay Lightning, here's Jason Zucker. Buffalo Sabres up by 2. And they're, sure enough, they're going to tie this series up if they win it all. I bet there are. I'm saying that the Buffalo Sabres are going to be the strike zone for the Sabertown. And then before that, this clash zone is going to be the battle no one has ever seen. Playing against Tampa, I mean, I know nobody would say so if they play it like that afterwards. Quinn now finds the pass again to Jason Zucker. And Jason Zucker now finds Owen Power. Power take the swing off to McLeod. McLeod changing it over again. McLeod knocked him away. Rebound by Yanni Gourde. And he'll have a new line group of change him in for the Tampa Bay Terrier. And that was taken away by Jack Quinn. Jack Quinn finds by Ram. To Benson. And that one is off too soon. This will take an icing for Buffalo Sabres. Only one thing we have to know is Ryan McLeod. He's getting 2 goals in the game. That's a great pass from Jason Zucker. That is only one play action, and the other one changes often. Here's where the breakaway chain makes it in there. When Jason Zucker has done for things, he really wanted to get a little septic under motion, and he really had to have the pass out to get that first assist down. Then it was the first shot of it that he has. Then the third period, you've got another great shot on net, and that's Ryan McLeod. He now has 2 in the game. Hopefully his third one is the best. Ryan McLeod sitting in the driver's seat. He has 2 goals in the game, but therefore you'll have to find out what the third goal will be if you make it that run pretty easy. Great block shot here as Benson now gives it to Owen Power. Owen Power to set over to Quinn.
Number 22,
Quinn stops one in the corner, now finds to Norris. Norris looks to Byram. Byram knocked him down, and here's Oliver Borstad. He gets it off to Corey Perry. Corey Perry on his way down, and a save made by Alex Lyon. Power over to Norris. Norris sends a pass off to Quinn. Quinn slows that one down. Now we'll send it around the net. Sends off to Zach Benson. Benson looks across again to Byram, and he now gives to Owen Power. Gives it off to Norris. Here's Byram, shoots, saved by Vasilevsky. You'll get a quick here on a pause with only 13 minutes in the third period. Just look at how it happens with Alex Lyon. You had a lot of it saving it.
And the great ability had changed it all afterward for Alex Lyon. He really is doing so much of his hard work. No better energy does it for the crowd. Alex Lyon is making some great saves. You really have to see this to believe it. Changing it often is not just the right only thing, but the big save of it happens to be with Lyon. He shows it off with a great stopper. He's really doing well in the game. 14-16 over 246. Time on attack for the Buffalo Sabres, who really are trying to look off, but it's never a victim motion on the carry. And that one, Tage Thompson wins the draw. This will now send to Krebs. Here's Rasmus Dahlin. He'll now have the pass to Thompson. Thompson the pass over to Tuck. Tuck looks over to Rasmus Dahlin. He also gives to Samuelson. He gives to Krebs. Dahlin. Switches. The backhanders makes a save by Andrei Vasilevsky. Eric Cernak. And we'll have to cover in for Vasilevsky with only 12:08 remaining in the first period. A lot of time left to be played in the period. 3-1. Buffalo leads it up in game 2. TNT wins the draw. Dahlin. He got hit. And will have to be pushed back. Now find to Samuelson. Samuelson to Thompson. Thompson. The big quiz. The drivers. Great save by Vasilevsky. Dahlin now passes to Samuelson. Looks to Krebs. Krebs to Tuck. Tuck. Trying to give it off over to Thompson, but it was given by Concalves. Cage Concalves right toward the wing. The zone to Hagel. Blocked by Samuelson. Rasmus Dahlin, he'll clear that out. And an icing will be on Buffalo Sabres. Just 10:55 left. What a block made by Mattias Samuelsson. Here are the upcoming games here for you as we've got tomorrow night's game. It's the Oilers facing against the Golden Knights. That will be the next priority game here at T-Mobile Arena. Only one game at a night. That happens to be here at 9 o'clock p.m. at 7 p.m. in Mountain Region time. And then, following along with the next games, you'll see the Tampa Bay Lightning facing against the Sabres at Benchmark International Arena. As the next game is currently underway, and it will be only one game at a time. And then following along with the next couple of games, we have the great ones to take. The rematch between the Minnesota Wilds against the Avalanche at Grand Casino Arena. And then after that game, we will send things over to the other side of it as the Hurricanes battle against the Penguins at PPG Paints Arena. Game 3 is right along the line. Never miss out the moment, only on Son of Beast. And be sure to keep your eyes peeled for new episodes on every of each reaction from Son of Beast. And the future of the home will be SOB's Gaming. And with the SOB's Gaming, that will be pretty soon after the coverage of the Stanley Cup Final and, of course, the summer edition of the NBA. Dahlin to pass to Doe. And it's Hedman taking it over with only 8:38 remaining in the third period. Worst shot clears that out. Given a rebound by Rasmus Dahlin, and now he will go over the other way. That one spokes it. Samuelson to find a Benson. Benson. Quick on a dagger. And Benson will have a reset group again to Shen. Shen gives to Benson. He gives to Doan. Doan goes right over it again to Stanley. Stanley trying to change it up a little bit. Right around a notch to Norris with 7:30 remaining in the third. Here's Stanley's shot. That is blocked by Cernak. Victor Hedman again to Nick Paul. Tampa Bay on the offensive zone. Fortstrad. Take a smackdown here. And Quinn will have it again to Stanley. Oh, that was a monstrous. You got to say about this. That Buffalo Sabres has got to put a lot of drive of it to have it all. Here's Norris outside of it, now finding to Quinn, and Power will have it. Power shot. Deflection goes off and rebounded up by the Tampa Bay Lightning. That knocks it too cleanly. And Norris off to Zucker. Zucker to Norris. And J.J. Moser will give it over to Gannick and Calvis. Cirelli. Outside entering his own. The leadoff change. Stopped by Lyon. And he will cover it up in under 6 minutes. Pretty much how hard they were doing for Alex Lyon is making a great save it. He's trying to put the stop out of it. He got it all in control. Check what happened to Luke Shen. That one is a big rumble takedown, and you really have nowhere to get through it. That relentless skid is going to make that one pay for it. 88 and 87 passing effectiveness turning out really well between both teams. But therefore, the 3-1 lead in the driver's seat is on Buffalo. McLeod back to Byram. Byram looks to Jason Zucker. Jason Zucker stops. Now finds Byram. Byram to Power. Power gives to Zucker. Here's Byram. Save by Vasilevsky. Now as Ginsel is on the attack. And we're down to a final 5 minutes in the third period, presented by Discover. This keeps it out. And a save by Lyon. Unbelievable. That goes out, and now the Buffalo Sabres will have another recouping change. While the crowd fans are reacting to this one here, Alex Lyon is getting a lot of big save of it, and he's doing like he's keeping it up. A lot of momentum. He's been peaking in big. Quinn. Darlene shoots. Stop made by Vasilevsky. Eric Cernak, a deep pass over now to Corey Perry. Corey Perry moving it in. A shot and a stop made by Lyon. Malenside, take a swipe down. Here's Goncalves, a save by Lyon. Off to Gergensen. Behind the cage is Gergensen. Outside Goncalves, backhander, blocked by Carrot. Took in a smash from along the wall. For Carey Perry. And back to Samuelson. This will clear out. Malenside, he's going to get a breakaway trade. Save up by Vasilevsky. Oh, what a big chance afterward. He could have definitely almost had that one. Lucking it down, that would have been a bad choice. By Ram. Press. Back to Tage Thompson. Thompson. And not going to puck afterward, and it's J.J. Moser. He'll clear this zone, and it'll be an icing on Tampa. Not a chance as Malenside will give that clear out in his zone. Now he finds Thompson. That way too deep. J.J. Moser fighting to Gergensen. He's off to Goncalves. Goncalves waits his zone. Saved by Lyon. And he'll now have it to Power. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Power shoots it. Trying to stop one and a quick tip and rebound. And it will save it here by Vasilevsky. You always have to say Andre Vasilevsky. He's been getting some showstoppers. This is pretty much how the pad kicks it out. Andre Vasilevsky's really able to have it all carried in. Nobody is able to save this game. Every period, they take it, and he had that one denied. That pat stop is a great way to keep it out. Who had the best player tonight? I will now send over to Ray Ferraro, and who had a better player of the game? Well, I know this is how it's hard, but the difficult of making it is, it's going to have to be one of a big pass up, and I really have to say, Rasmus Salini has been like a fan favorite. I really am sure, but this is the puck racing and off across. The captain is really doing it off hard, and I really am super excited to have that when as documented to be the 3-star players. I think this will be the final part of the period to get that one finishing. But now, let's see if they can hold things in to squeeze it through. Shots blocked. Ginsel ready to go as Andre Vasilevsky is going to head to the bench for the extra attacker. Stop by Lyon. Stanley. Zucker. Clears his zone. And icing is on Buffalo. We'll stop with only 48.7 seconds. Sabre Towns are starting to rise up. McLeod looking for his third goal in the game to have a hat trick. He wins it. Stanley gives to Ryan McLeod. He's going to take it. Blocked the shot by Dessous. And this time to McLeod. He's pummeled up. And Stanley right to McLeod. And he scores. Sabre fan. Ryan McLeod is his third goal in the game. Everybody's been chanting on for Ryan McLeod, and he really knows that he could definitely have it all. Then he wants to get it decorated, and he got a little move, and he definitely got it all. That is right toward the range. Jason Zucker adding another assist here. That is 2 in a row in a game for Jason Zucker. And Ryan McLeod has 3 goals in the game in Game 2. Yeah, everybody knows Ryan McLeod. He's really able to save it all. But anybody does so, you really have to mean it to believe it. And it's taken away. Zucker, outside zone, and that's going to seal the deal. Buffalo Sabres strikes back in Game 2. They're going to Tampa. Alex Lyon is their victory win. It tied it up on Tampa 1-1. Well, the game never happens to be like this, Alex Lyon was able to have it all, saving it out. Without Game 1, the Game 2 was a victory to have that one secured.
In round 2,
We salute the fans. Thank you very much for all your support, Sabres. And therefore, they're even up, and it's a big athletic clash battle. I cannot wait to see what happens in Game 3. And I believe so. That only happens to be one, and they play for anything. Well, along my broadcasting partner, along with Ray Ferraro of Ballpoint Pen and Chris the Beast, I'm Boomer. Thanks for joining us for this Sabres hockey of the Stanley Cup playoffs on EA Sports. We'll see you next time for another part of the game in game number 3. Thank you, and so long in Buffalo, New York. Good night, everyone. All right, what a game it is. Rasmus Dahlin is your first goal and third star player of the game. He only makes this to have that slapper in the first period, to have it off the crossbar and right in toward the net. The second star player of the game for the Buffalo Sabres is Alex Lyon. 35 saves in a game. He took that one, a lot of big contact, and saving it all. And tonight's first star, 3 stars of the playing of the goal, is Ryan McLeod. He finished it off cleanly, and that pass from Rasmus Dahlin gives that right off, and then this one sends a dagger over to McLeod. He made that one through and got that goal. Bounces and into the net. And here are your final statistics goals of the game. 36 over 34 shots on goal for Tampa Bay, 28-6 for Buffalo, and 31 hits for Tampa. 17-18 over 345 for Buffalo. Time on attack, 87 over 87%. 0.8 was Buffalo. Then it was 18 over 13. Tampa Bay Lightning. 2-minute penalty kill was on each. Only 1 power play goal was 152, and no power play goals was on Buffalo. So therefore, we have now tied the series, and therefore it's a 1-1 part of the game. They really couldn't have done it without everyone who done that better. Well, that's all it roasted, partners. And I guess that this game was a battle clash on. You would not believe how Buffalo does have it striking it up, but only one part of it for Tampa? Well, you may have it all with the changing in, but no one stands a shock. Well, folks, thank you all so much for watching for the first part of the game. And if you're ready for the next game, the Wilds and the Avalanche are right up forward and ready to get things off start. We'll see you folks on the other side of it in just a few moments. But those of you who are not tuning us in, thanks for watching, and we'll see you folks next time for a while as the Stanley Cup playoffs of NHL 26 style. This is me for 11 along with Roy Cruz and Fan. We hope you appreciate the first game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So long in Buffalo, New York.
If you don't, somebody will.